Hey, everybody, and welcome to Deep Cuts, where we take a look at the souls behind the storylines. I'm Jen, and today we've got a great one for you. But before we get into it, if you're watching this on YouTube, please make sure you reach out and smash that subscribe button. I would appreciate it. So today we're talking about someone that we've all known, a guy who's been on Bravo for a very long time. Any guesses? Let's get into it. So the guy we're talking about today has been on 2 reality shows. He's had over a decade of screen time, but still somehow, we still don't know who the real Jax Taylor is. Because for all the drama and all the storylines and all of those fake tears and those emotional confessionals, still absolutely nothing about this guy feels real. I mean, seriously, how many times can one man lie, cheat, cry fake tears, and still somehow walk away the victim? Bravo fans know Jax Taylor as the king of chaos, the self-proclaimed work in progress who's been trying to get better since season 1 of Vanderpump Rules. And if you ever think that you've got him figured out, just give it a minute, because he will reinvent the narrative faster than you can say, "Oh, I'm not proud of my actions." And honestly, that is what makes him a reality TV icon, but it also makes him a walking identity crisis. Jax has always been the Bravo bad boy, the walking contradiction, the guy who always says one thing, does the opposite, and then somehow finds his way back onto your screen, usually with a tear in his eye and a reason why he's working on himself. But when you look at his story and you start to peel back the bravado and all the bullshit, the layers of charm, the constant chaos, and all of those very dramatic confessional couch monologues, you can start to see the truth, which is the fact that none of us have ever met the real Jax Taylor. And honestly, I don't think he has either. Born Jason Couchy in Michigan, Jax was raised Catholic in a family that from the outside looked pretty average. But when you start to dig a little deeper, you start to see patterns that are familiar to those of us who are raised in dysfunction. Emotional distance, image management, survival through shape-shifting. According to Jax, his father was his anchor. And Jax says that losing him in 2017 broke something in him. But let's be clear, long before Jax's dad's death, the cracks in Jax were very apparent. Before Bravo and Vanderpump Rules, he modeled, he traveled, and he reinvented himself. He changed his name. And that wasn't just branding, that was survival. And it was the start of his mask. The mask that covered up the Couchy. Because Jason Couchy didn't believe that Jason Couchy was cool enough. He didn't believe he was smart enough. And when you don't believe in who you are, you become who you think other people want you to be. And that's exactly what Jax did. He morphed, he mirrored, he performed, and it worked until it didn't. Because honestly, masks are heavy. And no matter how many people applaud, if the love you're getting isn't for who you truly are, then it'll never fill you. Not really. And somewhere deep inside, you just always feel like a fraud. I mean, I know that place. Just like Jax, my dad was a coke addict. My childhood was like a made-for-TV movie. I grew up around violence, around manipulation, around constant chaos, and the kind of brokenness that gets passed down, like an inheritance. After years of swearing that I would never be like him, I became an opiate addict to ease the burden of the pain that I could no longer carry. I was self-destructive, I lied, I performed. I said whatever I thought people wanted to hear, because deep down I was lost in my own self-loathing and I could not believe what my life had become. And I didn't think that I was ever going to escape. But the truth is, the essence of the human spirit is always trying to ease the disease. For me, it took a full-blown spiritual awakening to finally break the cycle and finally root myself in love, real love, for exactly who I am at my essence. And once I did, I never touched a pill again. Never wanted to, never needed to, never counted a day. And that was over 13 years ago. I finally stopped loathing myself and started loving myself. And when I truly started loving myself, I finally stopped abandoning myself and self-sabotaging myself. I will tell you hand to heart that changing my relationship with myself changed my entire life, top to bottom, inside and out. And that's why when I look at Jax Taylor, it breaks my heart, because I can see some of my younger self. I see my dad, I see that mask, and I see the desperation behind it. And Jax's problem isn't just that he's broken, it's that now he's using his brokenness. He says, "I'm trying to change," but really, he's not trying to change. He's just trying to make us think that he's trying to change. And there's a big difference. I mean, we've all seen it play out over and over again. The cheating, the lying, the blow-ups, followed by the soft-spoken, oh, I'm sorry, I'm really working on myself. I mean, Jax knows all the lines. He's been saying them for years. And then Brittany came along. Remember when she was his so-called salvation? Brittany was sweet. She was Southern. She was sincere. She was the Kentucky muffin. And for a minute, we all thought that maybe Jax really had seen the light. And maybe he had really changed. But Jax didn't change. He just rebranded. And then even that fell apart. I mean, remember when Jax was diagnosed with bipolar disorder? But he didn't take his meds. And do you know why? Because if Jax got better, then he couldn't play the victim anymore. And then what? What would Jax do? Because playing the victim is what Jax does best. And now on the Valley, we see his next chapter. He checks into rehab. Fake. Music swells, the confessional comes, and Jax says, a weight has been lifted. He looks down, he rubs his eyes, trying to cough up a tear. But off camera, what he's really doing is monitoring Brittany from the treatment facility, using the security cameras in their home and watching her every move. And that's not healing, that's just surveillance. And it is sick. And it is so damn manipulative. Jax's whole trip to rehab was nothing more than a performative attempt to gain more sympathy. Jax doesn't want to change. He just wants permission to stay the same. So he says just enough of what you want to hear to keep you hopeful. And all the people around him just enable it, because it's easier to root for someone's potential than it is to confront their patterns. But it's hard because people see his potential, and it's there, and it's deep. There's not many people that have been on TV as long as Jax Taylor has. I mean, he's been very successful in the reality TV world, even as screwed up as he is. Imagine if he found his center and got right with himself, how dynamic he'd be then, how effective in life he would be then. I'm honestly not here to cancel Jax. I'm here to say that I understand him, basically because I was him. And I personally know that it is never too late to stop performing, to stop blaming, to stop shape-shifting, to stop branding your dysfunction as identity, and stop running away from who you really are. I say it all the time, and I will say it again. It is never too late to turn it all around. I mean, for the love of God, I know, trust me. But Jax has to want that, and want it for real, not just for the camera or a storyline. He has to stop crying invisible tears for the confessionals and start crying real ones, alone. He needs to sit still long enough to meet the man behind the image. That scarred little boy that never felt good enough, that person that he abandoned to become Jax Taylor, he needs to give that person a hug. And if he ever finds the courage and wants to put down that mask for good, there's healing waiting. And not just for him, but for all the people who've loved him through the madness. Because love can't reach a role. It can only reach what's real. And until you're willing to get real, and until you're willing to own every single second of your shit, you will continue to trade your contentment for chaos, your truth for tall tales, and your inner peace for performances. But the truth is, like I said, it's never too late to turn it all around. And the life that you dream of living is just waiting for you to start living it. That about does it for this episode of Deep Cuts, the souls behind the storylines from the world of Generally Speaking. If you've been watching this on YouTube, please make sure you reach out and smash that subscribe button. I would appreciate it. And until we're together again, everybody, stay rooted in love. We'll see you next time.